Hey, my name is Gasher. I'm player for Aqualix. Adjusting from T2 to T3 is just a little challenging just because you can play underagers. Underagers obviously play different than older players. Kind of like you see it land, you see the Brazilian teams versus the European team, etc. It's mainly just going to be, I think, how we'll have to overcome it by just being the better team and having the better chemistry. So I guess our fault was fragging power, but I think now that we actually had the system that we wanted, it should be easier to. There shouldn't be much of a problem. I think our newest fault would be experience, but I don't know. We'll have to see what happens. So we run in Hat Exile. Hat is just a really good mechanical player. He has great comms. He doesn't really have very many weaknesses. He's super flexible, which is always good. Exile is like the same thing. Exile is great comms. He can shot call, which helps me a lot. He can be a role player. He can be an entry. He can support. I mean, he can do it all. So I think those two players are really going to expand what we can do. We don't just have to be a team that like everyone has to play the specific role like last stage. We can just kind of swap people around if something's not working. I think it'll help us be a bit more unpredictable on certain maps. I mean, it's always good for T3 players and T2 players to kind of show off against one another and kind of see like where the that kind of divide and level of play is. I think it's also good for younger players to kind of show off because, you know, players have shown their potential before they turn 18 and then they get picked up either to Pro League or Challenger League. So I think it's just good for the overall scene for everyone to kind of get your name out there. Outside of myself, I would probably go with Exile just because he's less, I think, known compared to other people on our team. And I think in CL, he's been on the like worst end teams. But I've always thought he's been a solid player that just hasn't had the right people around him to really bring the best out of him. So I think it'll show in these next few games. I would say a combination of just aggression but consistency, because I think a lot of teams in the past have tried to be very aggressive and very loose and kind of just up in the air, I guess. But now it's more of like we're aggressive, but there's a consistency to it. And I think that's helped us, but will help us win more games, win more maps. So I mean, it would just be very good for experience. I mean, and kind of, like I said, kind of like a T3 players get their name out there by doing this. I'd be getting my name out there by doing this. I think it would just be great for overall experience, exposure, and I'd probably learn a thing or two that I could take forward and improve on. I listen to a lot of Suicide Boys. It's like my BFP. I don't know. I really like them. I play a lot of Counter-Strike. That's what I usually do for like warm-up aim and stuff. Valorant, I've been kind of off and on with. I watch some TV every now and then that's kind of it for right now.